Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific, and I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here all around the globe. So while you're viewing tulips from the comfort of your car, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Tulips, three lips, they're all great.
Yeah, well, could be.
Yeah. Well, it is Thursday night. I'm Wits End, and tonight we are talking about planning a CITO. I'll bet that there are all kinds of great thoughts coming from the chat, because there always is. But if you think of a question, throw it in that chat. We want to hear from you. But first, let's see what we got to do. I know what we got to do. We need to remind you. Here's a little quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons. Help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Special thanks to Land Sharks. That's with a Z. They are one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. You know, they have a whole lot of great trips coming up. They're listed under upcoming trips on their website, including a tour to that other ape cache down in Brazil. They're going through the Panama Canal, all kinds of great stuff. And I think they're even going to Antarctica at some point. So jump over and check that out. That's Landsharks with a Z.ca, don't you know? And our other corporate Denali level sponsor, well, that would be Gold Country Geotourism. You can visit exploregoldcountry.com. Learn more about the Geotour and the entire Gold Country region. Don't forget, they have an awesome app. Go download their app. And I think there's even 2 geotours up there, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not.
There's just a ton of great stuff going on up in Gold Country. Explore Gold Country, or Facebook.com/Explore Gold Country if you're into the meta kind of thing. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link over there on the CachingNW.com website.
Ah, yes. Thank you for that. Well done, by the way. We've got people that are just already bursting into the chat with all sorts of good things. It's like they know what hashtags we're going to mention here in a little bit, and they're already using them. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
Hey, but before we get there, it's time for the glow. Now, some, hopefully one, may ask what a glow is.
I think I heard it. Somebody, what is a glow?
Oh.
I'll relay it. I don't think you heard him.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
Sorry, it's the big headphones. It blocks out all the sound.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
I got
the glow is the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it, because great logs simply make geocaching better. You can send an email or a recording to feedback@cachingnw.com. Oh, thank you very much, Brylang. He says, what is the glow?
Oh, and he yelled it. Look at that. It's all caps.
It's all yelled. Because you know, he's got to get through the big headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I hear rumors we have a phone number to call into. That would be 253-693-TFTC. Go ahead. Prove me wrong. And there you can show us just how you glow.
Go ahead and call the number. We'll wait. Okay, no, we won't. But you never know.
Yeah.
Somebody might call in during a show sometime and do one live.
Pause the podcast right now. Yeah. Call in.
Absolutely.
And that way we will wait for you, you know, as you pause it.
Yep. Looking forward to somebody doing that, because otherwise, well, you're stuck hearing me read it. This one was contributed by frequent listener, active in the chat and support of the show, Just Finding Our Way, who says, I got a log on one of my caches. This would be GC7 Charlie November Papa 1. It's a cache called False Alarm. Got this log came yesterday, at least yesterday from when he sent this in. I thought it was kind of funny in an Arizona sort of way. So the log was recorded on the cache by Suzanne A., who says, after finally making my way to 100 multis and 500 mysteries, I'm turning my sights on the goal of getting to 100 letterbox hybrids. This was definitely a fun one. The Geodog and I came out here on a beautiful morning after we'd picked up a few of the challenge caches near Gold Canyon. I appreciated the container. Afterward, the geodog and I took a brief walk in the nearby desert area, which was fun, up until the point where I heard a very loud hiss. I realized I had frightened a snake. It was a large snake, and I was about 10 feet away, so I backed off and dragged the geodog with me, counted myself lucky that the snake had seen me before I had gotten any closer. I don't think I would have stepped on it. It wasn't directly in my path, but it was too close an encounter for anyone's comfort. We left hastily, and I was very glad to climb back in the car and drive back home across the nice, barren concrete. Thanks for the cache, which is perfectly safe, as long as the cacher sticks to just the vicinity around the cache and not the surrounding desert. So, thanks to Suzanne for a great log, and thanks to Just Finding Our Way for sharing it with us.
Even though this is in Arizona, I'm pretty sure Suzanne is Canadian.
Could be.
Suzanne, eh?
Suzanne A.
Yeah.
Yes. And thanks also to Just Finding Our Way for putting out caches so somebody can find them to write a glow.
Exactly. Very well done. And that's a good tip to know when you're out and about is that, snakes are usually more afraid of you than you are of them.
They must be petrified then.
Yes, they are. They don't want anything to do with you. Hey, folks, for those of you in the chat that are already using the hashtags, I'll just remind you of some that you could use that I think people have. Tonight, we're talking about CITO, so use hashtag CITO. That's cash in, trash out to add to tonight's topic. And we want to know what type of CITO you've been to lately. You can also use the hashtag FATAS to bring up something for the after show, and use the dueling hashtags podcast baking and hashtag podcast drinking to tell us what you're cooking and sipping tonight. And that's already started because CRS 98 is podcast baking crab cakes with homemade tartar sauce.
Me like that.
Oh. And of course, Subway Mark is podcast drinking Total Disorder Porter from the Ram Brewing.
Good stuff there. Good deal. Hoping it's not Bud Light out there. I got just sparkling water, but it's empty, so technically I'm no longer podcast sipping anything.
Uh-oh.
And
I just have regular water.
Okay.
It's just my personality that's sparkling.
Oh.
So the water sparkles when it gets in me.
Moving on.
Yeah. Here you go. From Kitty Quest. I saw a snake by a cache today, but it was closer to 1 foot in length rather than 10 foot. And it was very cute.
Oh. I don't know that the snake in the log the glow was 10 foot long, but it was 10 foot away from
10 foot away, yeah.
Suzanne, yeah. I don't know how long the snake was, but.
Well, now everybody's talking about snakes. We have Marcy, who says, I found a cache of 20 garter snakes at our CITO on Saturday. Marcy, how perfect is all this? Not only talking about snakes, but a CITO. Nicely done.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Yeah. Starcasher says, I just checked. I have 92 letterbox finds. I might need to make a few more a priority to get to 100.
Good milestone there. I don't know how many letterbox hybrids I have. I'd have to look.
I have at least one.
I'm pretty sure it's not 100.
No.
And I'm pretty sure it's not even close to that. But, I do enjoy them, but I haven't done a lot of them.
Right. I like the true letterbox hybrid where, it gives you clues to find it. Mm-hmm. Follow this trail for 72 steps.
Yeah. Yeah, I found a really, really good one of those in Puyallup quite a while ago. That was fun.
Nice. Hey, we got a little bit of news here tonight from the geocaching blog. Get ready for the second challenge of the Wheel of Challenges.
Oh, by the way, I had to go check. I have 10 letterbox hybrids.
See, so you're almost there to 100. You just have to add a 0.
I just need to add a 0, and I'm there.
0 is just a placeholder, so it doesn't even count.
Yeah. Okay. Wheel of Challenges. Continue, please. I'm sorry.
Favorite fan. Ooh. This challenge is a leaderboard challenge that focuses on creating and finding favorite point worthy geocaches. From May 1st to June 4th, you have a chance to earn 2 souvenirs for the easy or hard levels of the challenge. As with all leaderboard challenges, you can earn points by finding and logging any geocache or Adventure Lab location. But extra points are available if you find a geocache with 10 or more favorite points, or if you receive a favorite point on one of your owned geocaches. I know a few geocachers that won't have to do a thing, and they'll have this souvenir in a couple of days.
Piece of cake, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 5 weeks for this challenge. That's more than a month. So,
well, and you might need that, because to earn the easy souvenir, you must reach 100 points on your leaderboard. To earn the hard souvenir, you must reach 1,000 points on your leaderboard.
Oh.
You want to know how the points are spread out, or are you just going to let it go?
Nah, we're good. Just move on. No,
Okay.
Yes, please tell me how they do.
If you find a cache with 10 or more favorite points,
Yeah.
that's 20 points for your leaderboard.
Oh.
Yeah. If you receive a favorite point on an owned geocache, that's worth 50 points.
Well, there you go.
All you need is 2 favorite points and you've earned a souvenir.
Sounds like motivation to go out and place some great hides.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a standard found it, that could be on a log, could be an Adventure Lab location. That's 10 points.
So do a few Adventure Labs and
50 high favorite point caches, and you've got your hard souvenir.
There you go.
As opposed to the floppy one, which anybody could get.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
How hard is a digital souvenir?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Things that we ponder.
Hey, while we're pondering, kind of wonder as we wander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's talk about CITOs. That's Cash In, Trash Out. It's an ongoing initiative with the geocaching community that promotes environmental stewardship and encourages geocachers to clean up litter and debris from parks and other natural areas. We're going to explore the history tonight and the benefits of CITOs, as well as you'll have and how they evolved and have grown over the years. So
well, it is always interesting to hear how something that we are so familiar with and take for granted now got started. So tell me about the history.
Well, do you know when the first CITO happened?
It was probably after the year 2000. That's my guess.
That was a really good one. Yeah. How about 2002 in Texas?
Okay.
Yes, by a group of geocachers who wanted to give back to the environment and help preserve the beauty of their local parks. The event was a huge success. And it inspired other geocachers around the world to organize similar events in their communities. Since then, CITOs have become a regular part of the geocaching experience, with thousands of events held every year in locations all over the world. Excuse me.
All choked up about them, aren't you?
I know. They get you right here.
Yeah.
These events provide opportunity for geocachers to work together to clean up litter and debris from parks, trails, and other natural areas while promoting environmental awareness and even education.
Edumacation. Get yourself edumacated and that kind of stuff. Good stuff. CITOs, they're great. They help keep the game board that we all play on clean. But there's more benefits than that. They do offer a wide range of benefits. They benefit the environment, and of course, they benefit the geocaching community because, a lot of geocachers just aren't going to do stuff for somebody else. They do. No, I'm kidding.
They do it for the smiley.
That's right, and the warm, fuzzy feeling. But here are just a few. I'm sure there are even more than listed here, but one of the benefits of having a CITO is environmental stewardship. When you pick up litter, debris from parks and other natural areas, it just helps preserve the beauty of these spaces and protect them for future generations. And you don't even have to have an event to do it. CITO is not just an event. It's a way of life.
Oh, I like.
It can build community. CITO events, typically, but CITO in general, brings geocachers together in a shared mission to, again, clean up the environment. It's in the name. geocaching, trash out. That's clean. Trash out. Trash minus.
Trash minus, yes.
Double plus not good, or never mind.
Double plus not good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Double minus good? I don't remember. Let's see. It fosters a sense of community and camaraderie among participants. And how, what regular activity do you participate in that promotes camaraderie among participants? It just doesn't happen all that often anymore. As you mentioned, edumacation. A lot of CITO events include educational components such as talks, workshops on environmental topics. We don't all claim to know everything. We can still learn stuff about how to treat the environment with respect and take care of it. It can raise awareness and promote environmental education. And, they have a positive impact. They have a positive impact, as we've mentioned multiple times, on the environment, but also on the communities where they're held. Improves that environment, it just makes it better for everybody. Even if they're not a geocacher, people appreciate a clean environment and a clean trail and a clean hike. And public relations. Now, here's a big one that maybe you didn't think of. A lot of times, and I know I didn't, first off, you think, I'm going to go out and clean up the trail. And that's a good thing. It's going to help the environment. It's going to help, keep the water clean and the environment clean. It's going to make it nicer for us to go out there and enjoy the trails and the parks and the outdoors when it's not full of trashy stuff. But a big one is public relations, because geocachers, we all know and love them, but not everybody sees geocaching in a positive light. They see people traipsing through the fields and tearing stuff up and throwing litter around. So this is a good way to shed a positive light on geocaches and geocaching and show that our community is dedicated to making that positive impact on the environment. There's always going to be a bad apple, but for the most part, we take care of our play field and our game board. And, it's just fun and rewarding. You feel good about cleaning stuff up. You have that camaraderie. You meet some other cachers. Maybe you meet some cachers you didn't know before. Maybe you meet a cacher in person that you've only seen a name on a log sheet or in the Thursday night chat window. It could happen. Meet them in person. It's fun. So, yeah. And you get a smiley for the event if it's a CITO event. There's more, I'm sure, but I'm going to stop there and tell us more about how things got going with CITOs.
Well, Wits End, I want to add that at nearly every CITO I have been to, somebody stops and asks, this is really great what your people are doing. Why are you doing this? And, if I'm not answering, somebody else is, and they'll say, hey, this is part of the geocaching game that we like to play. And we've come here to clean up the park, the area, what have you. I'm like, really? So you guys just come out and do this on your own time? You're not getting paid from the parks department? No, we do it on our own. Typically, we bring our own equipment and we come and give back. Wow, that's really nice. So,
and it's fun, as Wet Coaster says, fun, ? In the rain.
Well, he is Wet Coaster.
That's right.
Yes. I've done several CITOs in the rain. Yes. Yeah. Where, you're hauling out tires or couches or bumpers, whatever.
Ironing boards? No, that's different.
No. I leave those behind. Shopping carts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's always an interesting one.
Yeah.
Do you contact the nearby Target and say, hey, I was helping to clean up here and we found 3 of your carts. Do you want them back? How do you get them to them? How do you move a shopping cart?
You just throw it in the back of your pickup truck.
Yeah, I don't have a pickup truck.
Everybody in America has a pickup truck with a bunch of guns and
and antlers.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh, that one. I forgot I do then.
Yeah. See, yeah, you're issued one of those. It's a birthright. I think you should take the Target shopping carts and leave them at Walmart, and take the Walmart shopping carts and leave them at Safeway, and the Safeway ones at Fred Meyer.
And what you're doing is building community, because then the stores have to talk to each other.
Yeah, that's
it.
Don't do that.
Jake R says, ivy pulling in the rain is so fun.
Yeah, but Ivy gets tired of it.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know. Oh, that's different. How about taffy pulling?
GeoNav Pros says the BCGA has been planting trees for the Metrovan parks for at least the last 3 years for our CITOs.
That's above and beyond just picking up trash and removing invasive species. That's replanting.
It's replanting non-invasive species.
Yes, that's good.
Well, and that kind of goes on to what I want to say is that cash in, trash out events have evolved over the years, right? They've grown in popularity with more geocachers participating in these events every year. And the scope of CITOs have expanded just beyond litter cleanup, with many events now including environmental projects such as trail maintenance, tree planting, or, hey, how about the tree planting, or invasive species removal, right? So is that cash in trees down? I can't quite come up with how you plant with the letter O, but I'll figure it out. Cedar in, trash out.
Yeah, I like it. What else we got?
Many organizations have gotten involved in CITOs, partnering with geocachers to organize and promote these events. For example, the National Park Service has partnered with geocachers to hold CITOs in parks and other natural areas around the country. So they're an important and valuable part of the geocaching. Brylang, you didn't quite get it right.
Cedar tree over there.
Tree over there.
Yeah.
That's close, but not quite. They are the CITO events are an important part of the geocaching experience. Again, to have a positive impact on the environment, promote community and education.
Yeah, it's clear these things they're just, it's not a passing fad. They're going to continue on. Now, you probably know this, but I'm going to go through because maybe if you're a new listener, right. I haven't said hello to you tonight. Thank you for joining us or listening to us on your favorite podcast app. We're glad you're here. There's a few back episodes you might want to go check out. There's a couple you probably should skip. I'll let you figure out which ones those are. But if you're new to the podcast, and indeed if you're new to geocaching in general, CITO, as we've mentioned, stands for Cash In, Trash Out. Bring a cache in, place a cache, take the trash out where it doesn't belong there. It's an initiative created by the geocaching community to help preserve the environment. There we go again, preserving that environment, maintain cleanliness in locations where they're hidden, and they bring geocaches together. We've mentioned a lot of this. This is a good little summary of it. There are different types of CITOs. You think, oh, been to a CITO, done one, they're all the same. Don't need to do it anymore. Oh, no. Here are some of the most common types. There are trail maintenance CITOs. They focus on maintaining hiking trails, mountain biking trails, and other outdoor pathways.
I've done that. I've spread a lot of beauty bark.
You clear brush, you spread beauty bark, you remove fallen trees, skip and jump, press wildflowers. Wait, no. And
wait a minute. I think you've confused what these people do.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Okay. And they often repair trail markers because trail markers, they wear out, they get abused, they get stolen, they get damaged from storms and non-geocachers, non-kind muggles. And, if people don't have a clearly marked trail, then sometimes you can't really blame them for not staking on the trail. Mm-hmm. So we repair the trail markers, make sure it's all safe and accessible. There might be a beach cleanup. That could be a different type. You can go out and pick up all the trash and debris and invasive species, repair, replace the signage again or markers or any of that kind of things that helps people know where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do, and just protect the local wildlife and the marine life that's out there.
And it's fun to see what's washed up on the beach. Some of it doesn't belong there.
It can be.
Yeah.
And of course, I think the most common one that I'm familiar with, and maybe other people are too, is just park cleanup and maintenance, because I don't live on a forest trailer on the beach. I enjoy visiting them, but where I live, there are city parks, and they need routine cleanup. I don't know where the litter comes from, but every time I go, there's litter that wasn't there before. So you can clear overgrown vegetation, replace damaged equipment. Maybe that swing set, the high schoolers got in there and spun the chains over and over and over and over the top, or broke something. I don't know. It helps keep things enjoyable. It helps keep things safe and clean so that we can all get out there and cache more, cache safely, cache often.
Oh,
Cache
when you and I worked for the school, they went out to a local park and replaced a backboard that had been broken. Do you remember this? A basketball.
It was a high school community service event. Yeah, spruced up a park and a basketball court, and that
backboard is still there today. I think it's interesting. I see it I drive by it all the time, and it's one of those like, man, that lasted, because the one that was there was broken. The net was ripped off of it.
Yeah,
maybe it had chains that was taken off, but when they replaced it, people appreciate it. So go out and do something nice. I think we talked about invasive species removal. Now, when you do this, you're not just pulling everything you see, right? This is what I have the problem with in the garden with my wife. Right? She goes, "Would you help me go pull the weeds?" Honey, which one are the weeds?
Yeah. Weed is anything you don't want.
And I know I can pull it. I just don't know which one, is that going to be a tulip? Is that a daffodil? Is that a dandelion? I don't know.
Not that one. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, you'll have somebody there that says, here, this plant right here, this is what I want you to pull up. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then you go do it. I remember doing one along a trail, and it was on a hillside of that trail. And I mean, it was, kind of had to go down on all hands, go down on all fours to get grip to be able to pull up the thing. And, people were walking by just looking and going, what are they doing? Oh, you're removing invasive species. Okay. So that's a good one. And I think Bryling was saying he did an invasive species removal this weekend. Another one is the opposite. And again, you guys have mentioned it, tree planting or tree maintenance. Again, before the show, Bryling was mentioning that they were doing tree sock maintenance or removal, depending on how big the trees were. So the tree socks help, the young trees get a good hold. So planting trees, planting vegetation that will, like ground cover vegetation in a good way, right? Keeps the blackberry vines out, because those things get everywhere. Let me tell you. You want me to tell you about blackberry vines?
By the way, I just stopped the show, start over again, because Komokimo just arrived. But he has a good excuse. He was co-FTF with Forever Lost One. So congrats on the co-FTF. Do you want us to stop and go back and from the beginning, or are we good? No. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're all here.
At Komakino, go download the podcast. We'll wait.
Yeah. Doesn't come out till Saturday.
Oh, yeah. We don't know when he's listening to it. Well, except now.
Yeah, we kind of do now at the moment.
So, there are other specialized CITOs. Maybe it has something to do with a river or a stream. That's going to take a little more gear than your standard CITO.
Pretty much, yeah.
Perhaps you're doing something with a wetland or a marsh or a peat bog. You never know. So again, it's an important way for geocachers to give back, because as you said, Wits End, geocachers can be seen as somebody who damages the environment, right? You're out there beating down trails, throwing out your garbage. Well, that's not necessarily true, right? Yeah. Here's a good way we can give back. Seebeck Tribe says, I did my first one last month at my local cemetery. We pulled salas. I don't know what salas is.
Maybe it's salad.
Maybe it's salad. Maybe it's salsa. that has overgrown in the cemetery. If it's the old cemetery in Seebeck, that place is really overgrown.
Not as much anymore, probably.
Apparently not so much anymore, because Seebeck Tribe took us there for an adventure lab, I believe. And quite well done. Wet Coaster says, after a mega event in Ontario, they held a CITO. The town cleaned up the park earlier that week because they didn't want visitors to think the town was full of litter. There are so many CITO events after a mega giga event.
Yeah.
Because, people come and, even though you do your best to try to pick up everything, wind blows, people spill. People are messy.
You get that many people in one spot, they leave an impact.
Oh, yeah. Salal is what I think she meant, says Peach. And that still doesn't help.
I've heard of that. I'm not up on my invasive species enough to be able to tell you what it is, but I have heard of it.
I don't have a clue. You just show it to me and I'll go pull it. I have very good image or pattern recognition. And once I see it, I know where it is and I can pull it, but I can't identify it.
I've pulled a lot of Scotch broom.
Oh man, Scotch broom. There it is. Yep. Seebeck Tribe said yes. And we're working on removing that invasive species
and
discovering several gravesites. Nice.
Ooh. It's always fascinating. At least I'm always fascinated to walk through an old cemetery and just look at the history and the stories and just, yeah.
Well, you see the history and you have to sometimes come up with your own stories of look at this family that's all buried together here. They died within a few years. I wonder what happened.
Right. Yeah. It's all about the dash.
Seebeck says, I'll invite you to my next one.
Please do. I don't know if I can make it, but please, the invitation would be welcome. Yeah.
Salal is not salas or salad.
It's a native species in the Pacific Northwest, but you wouldn't want it taking over the cemetery. There you go.
CRS 98 said, when I was in the WSGA 48 North chapter rep, or when I was the WSGA 48 North chapter rep, I organized twice yearly CITOs at Washington State Parks. They were great to work with. Well, how did you know we were going to talk about that?
He's just that smart.
Oh, that's what you were reading from Kitty Quest, weren't you?
Yeah, it popped up in the other chat before this chat, so I couldn't place it on the screen, but yes. So it's not an invasive species per se to the Northwest, but it is something you don't want to,
right. It would be invasive in a cemetery.
Yes.
Right. I shouldn't speak without knowing. I was going to say any species you don't want can be an invasive species. I mean, blackberry, I would assume, is naturally occurring here in the Northwest, but it's incredibly invasive.
No kidding.
You can hear it grow.
I'm pretty sure. And it takes over the caches on the way.
Yeah. So, folks, if you want to host your own CITO event, go ahead and do it. First of all, choose a location. That's the most important part, right?
Mm-hmm.
MC3 Cats and I were at, a bunch of people were at XXX Root Beer in Issaquah, not too long ago. And there was, between the parking lot and the road was a drainage ditch, and there was a lot of trash. Mm-hmm. And we looked at it and go, we should do a CITO here.
Yeah.
It's not a park. It's a public location. So it's one of those things that, you know what? You could go up and ask the owners, the managers, hey, can I bring 30 people here to clean up this area? And they would just love you. Yes, of course you can. So interact with the land manager or parks department or, manager, who's ever there. They'll be thrilled to have several helping hands to clean up the area. And often the parks department will provide tools, trash bags, and even haul away everything your group picks up.
Yeah. You just need to be willing labor. Willing, cheerful labor.
Kitty Quest says Himalayan blackberry is invasive to the Pacific
Yes.
Northwest. There are native blackberries, like the trailing blackberry, but they get out competed.
Yeah, those Himalayans, they can take over.
And apparently it was the green bushes you had to walk through at the cemetery. That's everywhere. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Enough about the cemetery caches. Because walking through it, the trails were clear, but everything else was overgrown. I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's you don't see that in a cemetery all that often. But if it's a community cemetery and there's no support, yeah, that's going to happen.
All right. So I've got my location.
Okay.
Now what?
Check with your local geocaching association. That could be the BCGA. That could be the Washington State Geocaching Association, because they'll have park liaisons. And if they don't, they'll at least have contacts for you to reach out to the state parks or the city parks and get help in coordinating these things. So, like any event, you have to choose a date and time.
Yes, good tip.
Consider the weather so you're not pulling ivy in the rain. But maybe you want to be pulling ivy in the rain, right?
I hear it's so fun.
Oh, yeah, I heard it's so fun. Sometimes you have to change your dates to work with the parks department so that, they can have the resources there to come and help you.
Yeah, you're probably not going to want to schedule like on 4th of July.
Right. That may not be the best of times.
Canada Day.
Or the 5th of July, you can clean up afterwards.
Yes, that might be a good time to do it.
Yeah. So, and of course, register your event on geocaching.com. Create a geocache page, and then you have to select event, right? Because an event is a geocache type. I just went to register an event not too long ago, and I'm like, I do have to create a geocache. Okay. Then you can register the event.
Yeah.
Fill it out. Make sure to make it fun. Something that people look at and go, oh, I guess I could do that.
Yeah. So I've found a nice location now. Worked out a good date and time with the Parks Department, with the local community. I checked with my local geocaching association and coordinated all that. I've registered it on geocaching.com. It's published. People are posting will attends. This is going to be good. I'm done now, right? I can just show up day of, and we'll have a grand time, and everything will just take care of it.
Just like every other event that you host.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a thing after that.
No.
Oh.
Like most things, if you really want it to be a success, put a little thought and planning into it. You want to create maybe a schedule of activities. Maybe you have more than just pull the weeds from this trail and then go home. This is, time for cleaning up the area. You might want to have activities and games and have a little fun outside of invasive weed removal and trash pickup. People are working hard out there. They're not getting paid. You might want to bring some snacks, refreshments, drinks, that kind of thing. And you really should put it in the cache description, maybe even send out a note to people that have posted will attends and remind them, because not everybody thinks about it. Bring tools, bring gloves, bring trash bags. Tell them the kinds of things, the kinds of activities you're planning to do so they know what tools and PPE are appropriate for that kind of things. IHEM says cleaning supplies, grabbers, gloves, trash bags, etc., all those great things. So plan, and it will go smoother and be a better, more memorable experience for everybody. Participants, cachers, park management people, all those kind of things. And like you mentioned, or somebody accused you, sometimes the parks department will provide a lot of that stuff, including a dumpster for you. So you don't even have to maybe make the actual call to arrange the dumpster. You can just tell the park, hey, we're going to haul a bunch of trash out. Could you maybe arrange to have one of your dumpsters over here or have one dropped off.
Right. I've often seen they'll have one of their flatbed trucks available. So they'll bring out a bunch of shovels, rakes, grabbers, trash bags on that. Bring all your bags back to the flatbed. They'll load it up and haul it off.
There you go.
It's easy, right?
And don't forget your feet.
Oh,
GeoNavPro says boots. Excellent thing to wear.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to talk about gloves for a moment.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if you've noticed, we just came through a pandemic and everybody has rubber gloves at home, the nitrile little rubber gloves. And those aren't really enough.
No,
you want a heavy duty work glove. You could put it over that.
Or under that or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Could you put it under the nitrile? I don't know.
Depends on the size.
Yeah. One of the last CITOs I did, they were very adamant that if you found a needle, leave it alone. Don't pick it up.
Yeah.
Because the sharps are hard to deal with. You can't toss them in a trash bag.
Right.
You have to have a special container to put them in, and who knows what's in it, what's on it.
Yeah, and that's something I was going to mention. It's not a fun topic to mention, but it's important to mention is that you need to keep your head open, keep your eyes on the swivel. You need to know what you're looking at. You need to be aware. You need to keep your eyes open. That's what I was trying to think of. Because I was just talking recently to somebody. They were not part of geocaching, but he was telling me about a community cleanup that he was involved with, just like a CITO. He says, I'd gone out, I had volunteered, and there had been some homeless in the vicinity there. And he said he found some tinfoil, and he says, and I kept uncovering more and more tinfoil. And the local authority, park authority, police, I don't know who was there helping, said, whoa, just stop right there, because that was used to cook some, I don't know what they do with the stuff. But he said those gloves, and he says, and I was wearing those nitrile gloves. He says that substance will go right through those gloves.
Oh.
So though that's not enough protection for that kind of thing. So you really need to be careful what you're dealing with. Needles are a huge one to look for. Unfortunately, it's something we have to keep aware of. And, anything that looks like it might have been used for drugs and that kind of thing, it's best to just step back and find somebody that knows more and has more authority in that area to take care of that.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't clean everything up, right? I want the area to look good. Even dealing with broken glass, right? If you've got good work gloves, you should be able to pick that up without cutting yourself. But you got to be careful. IHAM says, yes, the Harbor Freight has multi-pack of work gloves or gardening gloves. That's what I use. I usually buy a 6-pack of those once a year and go through them.
Yeah, they're good. And, talk about, garden gloves with claws work pretty good for invasive plant removal. Thanks, Wet Coaster. Probably similar to the ones at Harbor Freight. I was going to say, did you see one in Seattle here? Way to go, overachieving geocachers. They did a CITO on Tiger Mountain last week and expected 100 pounds of trash to be hauled out. They walked out with 650 plus pounds of trash out of the Tiger Mountain Trail. So that's great. And he wants to shout out and thank everybody that helped.
Fantastic. He also says Home Depot buckets were recommended to me by numerous cachers.
Oh, yeah. Also
an extended claw grabber tool.
Yeah, those are good. And where I used to work, we had a site that was part of adjoining a public beach, and the company's name was associated with that. So I would go out there. I didn't get paid to do it, but we had a grabber tool and a bucket, and I would make a walk in the morning and pick up debris and stuff. Yeah. It's really nice that people bag up their doggy's poo and then they just throw the plastic bag on the ground. I mean, I don't get that.
What's the point of that?
Yeah.
No, you've already gone to the effort of picking the stuff up. That's the hard part.
Right.
Carry it out with you.
Yeah. That's a whole other topic.
Wait, didn't Land Monkey rail on that just a couple of episodes ago?
Oh, he rails on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
We can throw him under the bus today.
Yeah. That was a recent Land Monkey rant. So yeah, and you know what? I'm going to go into a little of your grabber tool.
Yeah.
They come in different lengths. Get one that works well for you, because there's nothing worse than spending 2 hours bent over, picking up stuff off the ground. So find one that you can use in a good upright position and still reach the ground.
Good tip. Ergonomics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitty Quest says the bag dog poo is one of my top pet.
Oh, we hit a nerve there too. Yeah.
Get it? Pet peeves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We wound up putting a trash can outside of our facility there. It wasn't fun to empty, but we'd rather have. We found if we gave it someplace to put it, it was more likely to end up
people
there than just
would actually use it, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So,
did you put out the doggy bag dispenser?
Did not, but that's also a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I know we saw several of those when we did like the Mount Vernon Geocoin Challenge and things. I think there's even a cache in one of those up there if it's still there. Maybe. Spoiler alert. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's been a while.
Folks, do you carry plastic bags with you as part of your geocaching go bag? I used to say many years ago, you get all these plastic shopping bags, they can be crumpled up to something very tiny and stuck into a container. Well, you don't get those anymore, do you?
No.
And the ones you get are pretty heavy duty. And now Walmart says, nope, no more.
Yep, we're done.
Bags. You have to bring your own.
Yeah.
So that means all the shopping carts are going home.
Pretty much. We'll find all the shopping carts on the trails now.
I want all the, look at this nice big metal bag they give us with wheels. Let's take this home. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't carry the plastic bags in my caching kit, but I do have them in my jacket pockets most of the time because I own a dog.
Right. We keep one tied to the leash, our leash. Right. Yeah. So if we need it, great. We come home, we tie another one on.
Yeah. We used to have a little fire hydrant shaped dispenser that the roll sat in and clipped to the lead. That was cute.
Yes, to carrying bags, says GeoNav Pros.
Good job.
You know what they still offer at all the supermarkets is the vegetable bags.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those work really well.
There you go.
Not that I'm encouraging that.
You can take them from the store as long as you buy some produce. You're going to want to eat an apple on the trail anyway. So there you go. All right, let's get back to CITO events, shall we? We've planned it. We've picked a date, location, all that. We did some planning and told people what they need. You need to promote it. The more people, many hands make light work, right? So the more people that come, the less work it's going to be individually, and the more fun you're going to have. No more is better, usually. So tell people about your event. Have them tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. Social media is good. Local geocaching groups, you checked with them already to coordinate this, right? And if you haven't already, check the event listing page on your geocaching.com profile page and keep an eye out for stuff that's out there. Now, of course, the day of the event is here. You've done all that planning and prep, and people are signed up and coming, and you're going to turn this park upside down and make it just a sparkling gem of your city. Make sure you arrive early, set up, welcome everybody. Maybe they're there for their very first CITO. Maybe they're not even a geocacher any wonder, and they join you and become a geocacher just because of your hospitality. It could happen. Gather everybody, tell them the rules, the guidelines, and those safety precautions that unfortunately we really have to share repeatedly and keep people mindful of. Once the event is over, okay, we're here to call this trash away. Make sure you dispose properly of your trash from the event. That people, the water bottles, the cupcake wrappers and things, and the the T-bones from the steaks that you cooked for everybody. That was a different.
I'm coming to your event.
Leave the area cleaner than you found it. That's what we're getting to.
Mm-hmm.
Organizing it, a CITO event. It can be a lot of fun. It can be very rewarding. It's a way to give back to the community and get to know your fellow geocachers.
Yeah.
Have fun. Have a good time.
I've said that Parks Department often will, haul your stuff away. Make sure you contact them first, because several have stopped doing that since COVID. They just don't have the staff anymore to do it. So make sure you contact them. You just don't come back and say, hey, I'm going to throw winos under the bus. Hey, I got 650 pounds of garbage here. Come get it.
Yeah, you can't just stuff all the trash cans in the park full and then walk away without telling somebody, because maybe they weren't going to schedule to empty those for 3 or 4 days. And they're going to overflow. The animals, squirrels are going to pull stuff out. Birds,
raccoons.
Raccoons are the worst. They're scattered everywhere. Trash pandas, and and plus people just need to have room to throw the normal trash away when they're out for their morning walk and they got their banana peel or something, or the Starbucks cup, and then they got no place to put it, and then it's just you're back to having a messy park. So nobody wants that.
Exactly. So communicate. The 3 C's.
Talk good.
You talk good. Hey, folks, thank you for joining us. We hoped you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest, and we want to take a moment. Hold on, I can do this. To thank Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism. Both of those are our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca, that's Landsharks with a Z, is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. They ship orders daily. You don't have to wait very long. They're shipping orders daily. And for absolutely amazing geocache adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com. And of course, we want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Landsharks, Gold Country Geotourism, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cachly, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website, like Team Noltex has done.
And UDAC.
And Kev MacD.
Wet Coaster.
B Pendragon.
Coors Got.
Geo Nav Pro.
Gas Station Tuna.
Logwork.
Ackerdock.
Broncos fan for life.
Dora Moore.
Kitty Quest.
MC3 Cat. Oh, active in the chat. Yeah. MC3 Cats.
Flagman.
Just finding our way. Contributed to Glow.
Oh. Rawr 285.
Genies.
BC Rockcrawler, one of our newer patrons.
J Car.
I got Boomer 365.
Oh, yeah. Blue Mayor's out there. LG 9000.
And Teus.
Subway Merc.
Segehove.
Geocaches.
Kid Vegas 19.
Skyhawker.
Another new one. Just Carlo.
Oh, thanks, Carlo. RE54321.
Active in the chat. Wino Seattle.
You Talks to Rocks.
Green Words.
CRS 98.
The Camp Clan.
Limax.
Peach of Washington.
Seabeck Tribe.
GSM ×2.
Let's see. Would-be Island Gal.
Alarobrick.
And Trexer, who I saw join live in the chat tonight.
Oh.
Thanks for joining us, Trexer.
Very nice. Hey, folks, thanks.
That joined us.
Sorry, I talked over you.
No, I was going to say, thanks for everybody that joined us in the chat. Yeah.
And thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. Now, if you like the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. In either case, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all of those. And subscribe and give us a review. If you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. You can always call in to 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or help us at a CITO any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@CachingNW.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. This show's produced by Chris Humphenauer, Jim Paulwoods, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. The show's licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2023 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
Yeah, it's interesting when you play all of the after show sound and not just
Oh. Yeah.
Let's see, we've got some activity here. I think we've covered some of these. Yeah, 48 North chapter. Starcacher reached the hard level of the current geocaching challenge on Tuesday and made it only because of finding 50 Moga-related adventure labs 12 days ago.
Oh, there you go.
Holy cow.
That's like cramming for an exam the night before.
Exactly. Komakino says the cache that forever lost one and I found today was a reused mortar launcher firework. I mean, it's the ultimate thing not to use for a geocaching container. Of course, the hider is 0 fines, 1 hide. But they could have opened a brand new account.
That's because it makes me wonder if it was an additional account, just a ghost account, a phantom account. There's a name for that. Puppet account.
So interesting. Well, very nice on your cache find today.
Yeah.
I had to get up early this morning. Needed gas in the car, and I was kind of worried that if I don't get up early enough, get to work on if there's gas lines. Well, there wasn't. So I got to the work area very early, and I went and did an adventure lab with a bonus cache this morning. It felt very nice.
There you go.
And I still got to work early and got my favorite parking spot. So
see, getting up early has its benefits.
I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to say that was a one-off and it worked really well, and that, it could work for other people, just not me.
Okay. Well, I enjoy getting up early, so.
Wino says, planning what camp out? Struggling to figure out the reason why there hasn't been published yet? Don't. My CITO was easier to plan. Okay, so what Winos is trying to say is the WSGA campout is going to happen this year, and it's going to be in King County. So keep your eyes out for the campout that's coming up. It'll be nice.
Does it involve the Camp Clan?
Could. Yeah.
Okay. That could be a lot of fun.
Lookout Lisa says maybe a pop socket, not a sock puppet.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, let's see. Or sock puppet. Wet Coaster says, I got up early for a 7:80 a.m. meeting that got canceled.
Oh, yeah, that happens. But, you feel good about getting up early, and you've got time to go out and look for an adventure lab.
You don't necessarily feel good, but you do get up early. Oh, folks, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope you go out and clean up your game board. And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.